This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. I hope you're all staying cool. It's actually starting to get hot around here. Um, Hopefully it'll cool down a little bit this weekend, but I think it's going to go up again next week. We have a few things we want to discuss today. We're going to give you an update from our activities director on what we've got planned for this summer and some of the shows that will be coming down when season starts again. After that, we'll answer any questions that has to do with activities and what they've got planned. Right now, I've got Deanna, our bookkeeper here. She's going to go over some information, and if you have any questions after that pertaining to what she has to address, we'll answer those questions.
Good morning. So I understand you all should have got something regarding the FS pay, the change. That is a HomeCo decision. It's not Happy Trails. So I just want to say the one thing that you need to do, if you don't want to pay the dollar charge, the dollar processing fee, is you either set up bill pay through your bank, or you can just drop the check here or send it directly to the lockbox for HomeCo. If you choose to pay the dollar, you will have to go in to re-enter your banking information through homeco.com. And then you will, if you do that, you will be charged a dollar processing fee. And that dollar processing fee is from Front Steps, it's not HomeCo. And it's per month. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Becca Paulson, Lot 1424. I just want to let everybody know that I am working with the communications group, and they will be putting out a blast, basically, that explains exactly what you can do if you don't want to pay the dollar, or even how to do the new system. Go in and put your information in, where you can find your account number, what you have to do. We're actually working on that this afternoon. So give us about a week to get all the information together, and we'll put something out that will explain step by step, depending on the choice that you make. Yes, it'll be on a blast, so it'll be email.
There we go. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I just want to say a couple of things. When it comes to this new process, there is a purpose and a reason. I don't know if you're like me, but I always want to know the why. Well, why? Why? What's the why behind this? And so I want to make sure that that is clear. The why behind this is because a long time ago, when you guys gave us information, we would actually have a copy of your check, right? I don't know how many of you remember, sometimes you would get a check, you'd write void on it, you'd give it to an institution, and that's how they could pull payments. So in this day and age, that's not very secure anymore. It's not secure. You all don't want your banking info available to just anyone, right? So there needed to be a change. So rather than storing that information through HomeCo, it is now going through Front Steps, as Deanna had talked about. Through Front Steps, it is secure. It's not a voided check. It's not, your account number saved someplace. It is a secure way to make your payments the same way that you make your payments pretty much anywhere else online. So in order to do that, we had to shift that to a financial institution that could manage that. That's Front Steps. So that is the why behind this change. It certainly wasn't because we wanted to roll something else out to make things more complicated. We really just want to keep the information safe. And when it comes to the dollar fee, as Deanna had mentioned, that is a Front Steps fee. HomeCo does not get any portion of that. The normal charge is $3, and we negotiated fiercely to get it to $1, which is actually lower than all of our other competitors that we're aware of here in the Phoenix market. So that's kind of a little bit of the why behind it. And if there's any questions on what I just said, please let me know. I got this gentleman, then we'll come over here. Excuse me, I'm so sorry.
Do you want this?
I'm gonna need one. I think I'm sorry, sir, you'll be next.
Should I talk now?
Yes, please.
What happened to my check that I gave you that was voided?
That is a great, did you give us a voided check?
Well, I had to because you've been taking it out of my bank for 20 years.
There's more than one way you could have given us our information. I obviously can't speak to your specific check because I only like to speak to what I know. But I can say in general, the information was purged. It was deleted. Once we get the check, it actually gets shredded. The information goes into the system and that information was purged. We don't even have that module anymore to be able to access it.
So my check was shredded years ago.
Yes,
Okay. All right.
you are
Thanks.
very welcome. I think we have this gentleman up here.
Does Homeco realize the amount of paper checks now they'll be receiving in Las Vegas?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Does Homeco have any idea as to how many paper checks now they will be receiving to Las Vegas? For in other words, my situation is 3 lots, 3 different account numbers,
Mhm.
and Wells Fargo will not send the same company more than 1 check per day for the same amount. So you will be receiving 3 checks in 3 separate envelopes on 3 different days. Do you feel that's more efficient than what was going on before?
So to answer your question, let me start with this. The lockbox in Vegas is not Homeco. The lockbox in Vegas is the lockbox to the bank that your association banks with. So the checks never come to us, and that's true for most associations, unless you're dropping it off here, and then they turn around and mail it to the lockbox in Vegas. But that is a bank lockbox. They sit there, they process those all the time. So your question was, is that more efficient? No. Is it more secure for you and all of our clients? Yes. And that was more important. Doesn't have to go through the mail. There's other ways to pay. If you choose to pay it through the mail, yes. Okay, so he's asking me to give him $1 so we can go back to the old system. Unfortunately, the old system is gone. The module is gone. In this day and age, this is the way, unfortunately, it will be. We don't want it to be more difficult on you guys, but cybersecurity is very important, and that changes is not going to go away.
David Proctor, 909. Are we going to be able to change the way that we pay? Like if we start out on bill pay, we want to go back into the FS pay and then go back to bill pay. Will we be able to change? Are we going to be locked into whatever we do from our initial?
Great question. Yes, you can change it anytime.
Julie Allen, 2131. I live in the villas, and the last I saw, the villas fee for the coming year was an estimate. When are we going to know the real fee? Because we pay different than everybody else.
So the board will be discussing that in the planning meeting today, and then we'll go forward from there.
Okay, so we will get an email with the real fee?
You will get information when and if it changes, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other FS pay questions?
Jim Wines, Lot 50. The lady just said, I'm going to go with the new program. I got an email the other day and it got down to the bottom. It says, yes or no, submit. And I did. Do I still have to give you more information, or am I locked into the new program, which I want to be?
See me after, give me your lot number, and I will double check on that for you.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Marla Festanese, lot 2323. Okay, so when I go onto front steps, it still shows $921. I pay whenever I'm supposed to, and I pay in full. So I pay $2,800. And so it hasn't changed. So are you taking the money out of here for my monthly payment?
So for you, Marla, anyone else who has any questions specific to your account, please see the on-site team after this meeting. Right now, we're just talking about overall process. So to answer your question, we'd have to look at your account. I can't answer that right now. So the team will look at it and they can help you if you'll see them after. I think we had questions over here.
Yeah, Sherry Kick, 1701. If I already have an ACH set up with the bank, do I need to do anything different? Or is that ready to go? I mean, it's all right.
Excellent question. No, you don't have to do anything different.
okay.
So just, I want to repeat that. If you have ACH with your bank is cutting the check and mailing it to us, no changes for you. You don't have to do anything.
I'm not understanding why we have to pay $1. Most companies will give you an incentive to go online, so to go paperless. So why do we even have to pay anything for that?
So the payment, again, is through Front Steps because they are processing the payment. They are an online payment processing like PayPal or, there's a lot of different versions of that. They are performing a service and there is a fee for that service. And if you go on to pay many other bills, one-time bills, there's a service fee to do that. So I'm not saying every time, but many times. So again, it's a fee. We are not collecting. I don't want to be standing here telling you all you have to pay $1. I know the team doesn't either. Stacy, some of you may have seen at some of our previous meetings, our COO was in many meetings with Front Steps. Like I said, negotiating this. And it was, like I said, it was originally $3. That is the standard. And that is the standard for other management companies. That's what Front Steps does. They work with other management companies. Given our long-term relationship with them, we were able to twist their arm down to $1. So I'm sorry for that. They are providing a service. And that is kind of the norm that we see these days, unfortunately. We did our best to make it as low as possible. We have one back here, ma'am, and we'll get to you.
Jeff Matthew, 1792. My insurance company, my health insurance, my bill pays, all of the services, none of them, probably 30 or 40 different accounts, none of them charged me $1. None of them charged me anything. And when I was a business owner collecting through ACH, I never got charged as the receiver of the payment. So I think that HomeCo and Front Steps need to renegotiate. And the standard, what is the standard? We're using the word standard. Well, there's not a lot of faith in HomeCo and Front Steps and many other different things. But you're not our hero, personally speaking. You're not my hero saying we got it negotiated down to $1. When nobody else in the entire service industry, none of my bills that I pay through ACH, none of them charge me. If they charge you, Tamara, you need to find somebody else that's charging you for your Netflix account, or that's charging you for your Amazon, or is charging you for anything else. So me as an owner, it gives me question as to why you haven't, if you need a financial institution to do it, why take the easy way out? Now we're going, for us personally.
Jeff, is there a question? Because I would love to answer your question.
The question is, why have you not looked past the Front Steps position? If you have, who and what are they going to charge? Why? I mean, bill pay. I paid a bill yesterday through Pay. I don't know what it was, but anyway, it was through an ACH and they did not charge me. And it was
Okay,
one time.
thank you, Jeff. Let me answer your question. Okay, so am I up here? Am I your hero? No. Am I trying to be? No. I'm just trying to speak straight to you. I'm just giving you the information. You can take that information through your filter and do anything you want, but I'm here to give you information. I'm always going to give you as much information and the why as I can. Does everybody charge a fee to make a payment online? No, I said that, right? In the examples I was given, those institutions are taking your money and putting it in their pocket. We don't do that. You are making a payment through Front Steps that then goes directly to your bank for the association. That is a different scenario. If you were paying us directly and we kept your money in our account, we would have full control over that. We don't. That's not what we're talking about here today. So the reality is, you guys want your stuff to be safe. We want it to be safe. This is how business operates now. Now, do I want to charge you this fee? No, I don't. If there's a way that we can get through this, sure we can. We'll try. But we've already been doing this for months and months and months to get this for you guys. So I know it's not the perfect answer, but it's the truth and it's the facts. You had a question right here.
It seems to me that HomeCo is passing on the fee that is theirs to us.
You'd like me to explain that? I actually love that question. I love that question because I do think that it can look like that. It absolutely can look like that. But let's take a step back for a second on the relationship between HomeCo, the association, and their bank. Okay, we at HomeCo, we help manage the association. We are not the ones that are keeping the money and collecting it. We send out invoices. We facilitate that. Your money never comes to us. So let's take HomeCo out of it for a second. Okay, say it's not HomeCo. Say it's XYZ management. Say it's self-managed. Give me any of those scenarios. You are still going to have to collect money. Your association. You also are going to have to do it in a secure way so that your insurance covers you, because you have insurance for online transactions and things like that. So you then, in that scenario, would have to go find yourself a business like Front Steps to do the same thing. And you'd be collecting the money, and each homeowner would have to pay that fee. So it's not a fee to HomeCo. We receive no benefit from your assessments that you are paying.
It is HomeCo's benefit of ease, and I don't believe it's any more secure to do it through Front Steps. They are buying the service from Front Steps. We shouldn't be paying for what they're buying from Front Steps.
Okay, I like that perspective. The association actually uses Front Steps. Does HomeCo work with Front Steps on a lot of communities? Yes, but the association has the relationship with Front Steps, not HomeCo. Okay, I know that may seem confusing, but again, take a management company out of it. Say you guys are doing this on your own. How does it work then? It works the exact same way. You still have to have a company that's going to collect your assessments and then get them to your bank, and you're going to have to pay for that service. I don't like it, but that is the reality. Or you could do bill pay. You can drop off a check here. You can send it in the mail. You can have your bank cut a check.
Okay, I have a question
Yeah.
regarding the ACH payment versus the fee. Am I correct that there is no service charge if the bank is paying directly versus, or they bring in that paper check?
That
That
is
is a free service.
That is correct.
So the only time there's a charge is when another person on the other end is going and retrieving the money from the bank account or the credit card.
Almost. I would
That's a
rephrase it this
clear
way. Yeah, I would rephrase it this way. There's only a fee if a homeowner goes to Front Steps, puts in their information to pay. Any other way, your bank sends a check, you mail a check, you drop off payment here, no fee, no change. These are just for people who want to pay through Front Steps.
This is Debbie Heim on 1157. I don't know about anybody else with Front Steps, but I have been fighting it ever since the word Front Steps came into this park. And if I didn't have somebody from the communications committee who is again going to try and help me get set up with Front Steps, it has never worked. So just pass that.
Yeah, if I had two hands, I would clap. I know that you guys have had issues with Front Steps, particularly when you use it as a portal to receive information, to go get documents. And for those reasons, I know that the communications committee is looking at some ways to fix that for you all. Like I said, we hear that you don't love it. It is something that the association can choose any platform that they want. Front Steps portal that you have right now is free, and I believe that's why initially the board said, let's use it. But I know Communications Committee is looking at other options, and I believe that will be discussed with the board at some point coming up. We want it to be easy for you, and I know that we're listening, and we'll see if it makes sense.
Just one other thing. If you could just explain, because I think some people are misunderstanding what bill pay is and ACH is. Okay, if you could explain that to everybody, I think that would be a big plus.
So and if everyone heard, the question was the difference between ACH and bill pay. ACH is when an institution has your banking information and goes in and pulls out the money.
Electronically.
Electronically, thank you. Bill pay is when you're gonna go in and you're pushing that information out.
You're sending them a physical check, a piece of paper.
So does that make sense? Okay. Any other ACH questions? Oh, back here.
Okay, so you just mentioned right now, I had another question, but you mentioned something that we're not paying for Front Step, but I know that's not true because we were in a communication meeting and they say the first phase of the Front Step they're doing is very minimal and it's a third-party platform. So that's one thing that you just said we don't pay for it, but we do. And I know there's a lot of levels of Front Step that can go through. Also, you said that the association is the one that has a relationship with Front Step. However, it's HomeCo that has a relationship with Front Steps. And we're just the association here and the people trying to do what we're doing. And then bringing up this whole new bill pay thing and $1, I think it's just confusing our owners and stuff because it sounds like this is something we have to do. And I know you're trying to clarify that now, but still, didn't you say HomeCo gets the $1 at the first of this meeting?
HomeCo does not get the $1. I've said that about 4 times. I want to say it one more time. HomeCo does not get the $1. We don't want the $1. It's not ours.
So I'm not sure why we have to go to this party and pay extra money to pay our HOA when we've been doing it for what, 40 years somehow here?
Okay, so there was a lot said in that. I'm going to try to remember everything that you said. Yes, Front Steps has lots of levels. We are using the free, to the best of my knowledge, you guys are using the free portion at this point. Communications Committee is looking at other avenues with other vendors or potentially Front Steps. I'm not sure that's to come. You said that HomeCo has the relationship with Front Steps and not the association. I 101% disagree. Is there a shared relationship? Sure. We interact with Front Steps as well because we're your managing agent. If the board decides that they want to go with a different platform, you guys absolutely can do that. And I believe that that is something that is being explored, but I don't want to say too much because I'm not here every day. I don't honestly remember a whole lot of the rest. There was a lot, I'm sorry. But to clarify, it is $1. It does not go to HomeCo. And I appreciate you restating that. You're right. For the majority of people, nothing is changing. A lot of people, nothing is changing. Only if you had the ACH that was set up a very long time ago, that would make the change. And again, you don't have to continue to use ACH. You can choose to mail in your check. You can drop it off here. You can do whatever you want to avoid that $1 fee. Any other questions? Because I know we have exciting activities stuff to talk about as well.
Marilyn Klein, 392. I assume what I got from the blast, that if I've got auto mail already, I have to do nothing? Or do I have to, or is it only the ones that do footsteps? Because I don't do footsteps, don't want to do footsteps. I get my blasts and everything, and so I'm on auto pay at my bank, and I have been and I will be.
Yep, nothing changes for you.
Thank
you are
very
correct.
much, because you're talking about stuff that's getting me confused.
Okay.
But I took it right off the blast thought, it doesn't affect me at all.
Yeah, you are right. You read it perfectly.
Thank you.
Great understanding. Go ahead.
Mickey, you can go ahead and unmute yourself now.
Michelle, are you able to read my question?
Sure. Who is the woman speaking? The woman speaking did not introduce herself. Please state your job position and responsibilities to Happy Trails community owners. Does HomeCo own Front Steps or Caliber?
My name is Tamara Swanson. I am the Executive Director of Client Services. I apologize, I didn't state my name beforehand. I think a lot of you know my face, and I apologize. No, HomeCo does not own Front Steps, does not own Caliber. Any other questions? Let's talk about some fun stuff now. Okay, so I'm going to say last thing. Only if you go to Front Steps will you have to deal with this. Mail in your check, drop it off here, pay from your bank, nothing changes. If you have questions, please see your on-site team. And I appreciate your time.
Thank you. So we're now going to jump into fun things, and I've got Amy, our new activities coordinator here, and she's going to talk to you all about all activities planned for the summer and this coming season. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. For those of you that don't know me, I am Amy Horton, the activities coordinator. I've been here about 3 months now, 4 months. I just want to start by saying how genuinely happy I am to be at Happy Trails. I think we have a great group of people, and I'm receiving a lot of positive feedback and input on how I can help make things better for this community, and I want that to continue, and I really appreciate it. Summer activities. Just this morning, we got together our Desert Rat booklet that's going to have all the movies. So we will be showing regular movies, so you will know the lineup of those movies. Tried to get a good variety in there. It's not easy to please everyone, and everybody likes something different. So I apologize if you didn't get the exact movies you wanted, but I do feel like there's a good variety in there I feel like there is a good variety for everybody. Those are available. I brought some over. They're in the box over here. You can also pick them up in the activity center. We also have a monthly sheet that we keep in the activity center. So month by month, you have a list of what's going on. It's also included in the booklet. And then I have a weekly blast that I send out kind of a week ahead what we're doing in the next week. And that's all going out through Front Steps. So there's a multitude of ways for you to now find out what we've got planned. I am working in conjunction with Thelma, still helping with Desert Rat. She's doing most of it, but she's also trying to retire and doing some vacationing. So I'm trying to help her out with that, and we're kind of working together on a lot of that. I have booked all the concerts for the upcoming season. We have some returning favorites, like Yachtzilla was very popular last year. They're coming back. I sat down with TAD management personally and went over every concert, listened to them, listened to the bands, the backup singers, just to make sure that we're having good quality entertainment coming in here and nothing that's too repetitive, and some new stuff. So that is all planned. You will see concert posters and things going up, as we get more pricing and exact dates of ticket sales planned. And so as all that information gets planned, you'll know. It'll be up for everyone to see. Food trucks. Work in progress. So far, the feedback has been pretty good. A couple of them haven't been too popular. I've been a little concerned about it being too warm for them to be coming from 3 to 7 p.m. on Tuesdays, so I'm kind of working with them on that. I have been discussing with them any feedback that I'm getting, like I know wait time was an issue for one of the first trucks that came out. They were selling online and that was taking priority over the walk-ups. So I talked to them about that. They're going to limit that. Not all the trucks offer that, but going forward, if that is offered, then it will only be for 30 minutes. They're also going to make sure there's at least 3 people manning the trucks that come out here at all times. So I went to them with that feedback because I do listen to what you all tell me, and I'm kind of keep my finger on the pulse of, I watch the truck and I can kind of see what's going on and paying attention. And so I've been going to them with, the feedback that I think they need to hear, and they've been very receptive. So, but just keep letting me know what kind of trucks you want. Again, trying to create a variety. Not everybody likes Asian food. Not everybody, then that's not the week you're going to go eat the food truck. We'll have something different the next week. And I do try to keep everybody communicated on the types of food trucks that are coming in with the menus. And I'm also really cognizant of pricing and not bringing in anything in here that's outlandishly expensive for anybody. I am planning to, in the activity center itself, to bring in more food options. We do have Blue Bunny ice cream over there now, which can't eat that all day long. So, you could, but probably not a great idea. And so we're going to work on bringing in a microwave and kind of like a convenience store type situation in there where we're selling breakfast sandwiches, just kind of some light items, grab and go items, yogurts and things like that, just so there's some more food options for people in the community. I'm going to be working on that over the summer. Volunteer opportunities, always opportunities to volunteer, not only in the activities department, but throughout the community. I'm always looking for happy, enthusiastic volunteers that like to come in. A big part of what you do when you volunteer over in activities is socialize with the other residents. It's a main thing, and it's very important. And I wish I could do it all day long, but I can't. And so I do appreciate my volunteers who like to come in and socialize. I feel like that is the main priority. But there's a lot of other things you can do to help us over in the activity center, assisting with events, helping put together booklets, supporting ticket sales, event coordination. There's all kinds of stuff to do over there. And so always looking to have more people come join us. If you're interested, there is an application and you can come over and see me and I can show you how to get that filled out. My door is always open to constructive and helpful input. I think most of you that have talked to me know that I don't get into the drama and the complaining. I just would like for the activity center and the things that we do to be an escape from that. So I'm very, very open to listening to what you guys enjoy, what you'd like to see more of, and doing everything I can to help coordinate that for you. I think collectively, when we communicate and work together, better ideas are made. So I'm open to that. Let's see. Movies will start. So our first movie is going to begin, I think it's June 30th, but let me double check here. June 2nd, I apologize. So June 2nd is the first movie, and then they'll be every Tuesday at 10 a.m. here in the Performing Arts Center. And then you can bring $1 and get popcorn, okay? So, and all the movies are going to be in this booklet with a little description of the movie. I think we've got the rating in there of the movie and how long the movie is, and just kind of a general, like whether it's a comedy or those types of things. I think that is pretty much all I wanted to mention. Just really a final thank you. I appreciate everyone here, and I really do invite a lot of any positive feedback, even if you just want to come in and say hello. Any questions?
Yeah. 1121, you can ask your question. Please unmute.
Thank you. Amy, we're so glad to have you. My concern is with food services, and I'm asking that this year when you have dances and food trucks and things, if you would make certain that they're licensed, registered with not only the county environmental health department, but also licensed with the city of Surprise. And when you set out the food trucks, I've discovered that a lot of them aren't licensed. So thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, I hear you, and I guarantee you I'm doing everything to make sure that they are prepared to come out here and insured. I'm actually working with a food truck broker. So I work with one person. She helps me coordinate everything. She sends me anything we need. I assure you, they work all over the valley. They're not sending out trucks that aren't properly prepared to be coming out here. So, but I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yes, that is, yes. If you don't already know, we will be opening the Chuck Wagon when the food trucks come because of the heat. The Chuck Wagon will be open so that you can go in there and sit down and eat or wait while you're waiting for your food. So.
Darlene, this is a question for you. Does our audio video system here, are we able to display through our system live TV to the screen?
Oh, sorry.
Yes, we are.
So in theory, if we as Homeco or Happy Trails subscribe to Netflix, for instance, or an online service such as that, we could, okay.
We don't have a subscription to Netflix, but we do have, sometimes some of our movies come from YouTube, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right, Dave? And we do play this, we've played in the past the Super Bowl live, so we do have access to some programs, yes.
Right, but in other words, we as a community couldn't subscribe to something such as that, so we could broadcast movies.
That would be up to a board decision. I don't know that we'd want to actually get involved in that though, but that would be a decision of the board.
Okay, just saying, because we could see first-run movies as a community.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
David Proctor, 909. Frequency of food trucks, are you going to be doing them just once a week or?
For now, we're doing it once a week. The concern with the food trucks coming out more often is the business they're getting. You have to understand that if they're not getting business, they're not going to come out here more than once a week. So that's where your support is imperative, is the more you come out and support them, the more food trucks I can have come out. We can have morning food trucks. You know, I'm listening to what everybody wants. We've even had a lot of the employees, you know, they're like, we want a breakfast food truck. So I am going to be talking to them again. I'm concerned about the heat. You know, I feel like coming out from 3 to 7 is just the peak of the heat of the day, and maybe trying to move that around. But yes, and I'm even considering bringing out like Kona Ice, you know, and all different types of food trucks just to kind of sprinkle in a little bit of a variety. So, and if you know anybody that runs a food truck or you have any avenues you'd like to share with me, please come tell me. Anyone else?
Marie Beshan, lot 900. Is there a shadier spot? I mean, I know we're used to just always coming out right here in front of the pack, but have we investigated anything else, maybe at NC1 or NC2 or someplace else? I mean, I haven't walked around at that hour of the evening to check, but maybe we can investigate and see if maybe there's a shadier spot and some umbrellas and that kind of stuff to make it just a smidge, teeny tiny bit cooler.
I'd be open to looking into that. I feel like we have moved some of the tables. I worked with maintenance to move some tables up under the shade over closer to activities. I think there's only one table, but there seems to be a pretty consistent amount of shade over there. So maybe we can get some more tables over there. And, you know, we do have tables out here, and then we also have the Chuck Wagon that's, you know, that's open. So I I feel like probably there's better opportunity for seating and to be cool here. But I'm open to, looking into one of the other areas if it will accommodate having the food truck. I don't know if they can park over there or in any of those other, yeah.
They could park over there possibly, but I don't know that there's any shade for them to park. So you're still going to be out in the sun when you're ordering and waiting for your food.
And the last couple of food trucks that came, we worked on where they parked so that they were positioned. Some of them have their own canopies, so it's shaded while you're ordering, and they have like a little setup area where you wait. Some of them bring some of that. I'm going to do a better job of meeting with them as soon as they get here to understand what type of accommodations they have and putting them in an area that, it has the best shading possible, because we do have some decent shade out there. So, yes. One second. They're bringing you a mic.
I think it was yesterday, the food truck parked in the shady disability spot by the post office.
Yes.
That's
they
not
did-
ideal.
Yeah. Okay. We'll have them not do that. I did make sure there were still spots available, that they weren't taking up all the spots, but yes, we can make sure. I'm sorry? Yeah, they did. They backed in because the previous truck before that, they had a nice shade and her window was on that side, and it just worked out really well for her to set up that way. That was the Queso Good one that came on Monday. So we tried it with the one that came the other day, and if that's not ideal, then we'll move it.
I think this is all great what you're talking about, but we spent about 30 minutes talking about this. And I thought this was a non-agenda town hall meeting. And I think there might be other things we want to talk about, not to cut you shorter, but I think we kind of have the idea.
Yep, we're all finished.
We are here. She's here to address everyone about the summer activities. So we're going to continue. If anyone else has any questions about that, then we'll move on. If not.
So we have an agenda today. It said we didn't have an agenda, but apparently we do.
We don't do paper agendas for the town hall meetings, but that does not mean we don't have things scheduled for town hall meetings. We don't do paper agendas.
Any other questions for me or activities?
Excuse me, I have a quick question. Jennifer, lot 1249. Years ago, when I first moved to Happy Trails, I spent a couple of summers here and actually met my best friends at a Desert Rats activity that over the last couple of years, basically from COVID forward, hasn't happened. And I'm wondering if there would ever be the opportunity to bring that type of event back.
Do you know what event it was specifically?
Sure. We used, like every other Friday night in the Chuck Wagon, there was kind of a potluck, but it wasn't like potluck dinner food. It was like potluck snacky food. So you could bring potluck snacky food, and then they played different games like card bingo or other types of games. And it was a really good opportunity for people to get together. And I realized when the Chuck Wagon was leased out, we couldn't use the Chuck Wagon for a Desert Rats activity. But now this summer, the Chuck Wagon is not leased out. And I just remember that as being one of my favorite activities over the summer, of looking forward to getting together with friends, snacky type potluck thing, and playing some games.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. There are going to be where there's $10 dances we're thinking about, and it is my understanding that Desert Rat can use the Chuck Wagon, and they will be for the ice cream social tomorrow. So I feel like there's too many things for me to try and plan for everybody. There's dances in the courtyard, evenings in the courtyard once the weather permits. So that's not really Desert Rat, but there's ample opportunity for different events to happen. I think the coordination of what can be in the chuck wagon and what cannot at this point is a little on the fence for me. But I know that they're opening it more for the Desert Rat activities, and we're going to continue to do that. And I'm going to continue to plan. So what you see in these booklets and what I'm talking about today is not the end all be all of what's going to be scheduled around here. It's just the beginning. And I'm very aware of the multitude of needs of people. I'm getting a lot of feedback too that some people would like more activities in the evening. Not everybody wants to go to bed or goes to bed at 5 and 6 o'clock. Which is great. So, and we do have some newer residents in the community that are very actively involved in helping us get some of that stuff coordinated and planned and volunteering to run some of that stuff as well. So there's a lot in the works. So I promise you we're going to make sure that there's plenty for you to do. Okay. No, because I don't have any of those. No. I can go over with you if you want me to. I mean, we'll be displaying the lineup for the concerts, but I can go over with you all of the concerts that we have planned. We have the American Highwaymen concert coming in, which is my understanding is kind of like a Johnny Cash type tone to the concert. There is a 56 Tees concert, which apparently is a lot of like 50s, 60s, and 70s hits. We have a Lionel Richie tribute concert. We have Bobby Wilson concert coming in, which is a new organization. It's not TAD Management, but there is that's going to be. There's backup singers. They have an amazing band. That's going to be a really good concert. There is a She Gees concert, which is Bee Gees music, but done by a female singers. And apparently they are quite amazing to watch. We are going to have a trip to Barleans in February. We've got the Honky Tonk Man concert, which is a country Dwight Yoakam tribute concert. There's a members only concert, which is going to be all 80s music. We have Yachtzilla. We have the Spouse Whisperer, which is going to be a comedy show. So I'm not too sure when the last time was we did a comedy show, but there's going to be a comedian coming in. We have a Winona Experience concert and Margaritas in Paradise concert, which is going to be your Jimmy Buffett Margaritas in Paradise, and probably do a little extra fun with that. And then we have an Uptown concert, which is going to be a lot of probably yes, Motown type music, yes. In addition to all of the things that you've had every year, the Christmas dinners, the Thanksgiving dinners, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, none of that's going away. It's all being planned. And like I said, I'm open to input. We've got room to put more stuff in here. We definitely do. So.
Who is going to do the dinners now? Are you going to have Chef Peters come in and cater for us? Or are you going to have somebody else? Or are they going to be potluck like the we used to have?
Actually, all of that is being considered. Chef is willing to, he's got a catering business, so he's willing to work with us. We've thought about potlucks, and then I'm working on pricing for some of these events to bring in catering from other restaurants. Everybody caters. Pricing is all over the place. I'm doing a lot of research on that to make sure that, these can be affordable events and that we can have food at them. So there still will be food, and I'm just kind of in the process of figuring out how to make sure we get that here.
Well, I find out I miss the big potlucks. We don't have to pay $30 for a cold meal.
That's exactly
every
right.
time, because with the people now are so many people they cannot serve a hot meal unless it's right out, you sit out the door.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't want to pay $30 enough about it. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. I hear you.
1121, please unmute and you can ask your question. You can
Yes,
unmute.
thank you. I appreciate all this. I just had other questions and didn't know if the presentation was going to go into that, other subjects or not.
I think we have just a couple more questions, and then I will be finished.
Thank you, dear. Bye.
Wanda Bean, 1667. We used to have a kazoo band that we had a ball with, and we had our concert every fall.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful.
Yeah, I have actually heard about that.
I have a lot of kazoos.
Well, why don't you come in and see me? You come over and see me, okay? All right. It sounds like a good time. I'm not going to say no. I don't know if I'm going to be there, but I hope you coordinate it. All right. I think we're finished.
Thank you, Amy. I want to just reiterate about the ACH FS Pay, and if you use your own bank. If you use your own bank, again, you don't have to do anything. It's already set up for your bank to do bill pay. I'm sorry, ACH. I get it mixed up all the time. Thank you, Terry. If you're going to use FS Pay, you need to go in and get that set up. And that if you need to get your account number, if you don't know your account number, you can reach out to the staff and they can get it for you. Okay, thank you. Any other questions about the FS Pay or any other questions for activities? Okay. Any other questions? We got about 10 minutes.
Yes, Darlene, I've got a question. If I had known that you had things to go over, it would have been very nice for it to be published. It's not an agenda, but here are the topics that we are going to start with discussing.
Okay.
I could have had a choice whether I'm here or not. I was expecting, like all the other town hall meetings, to have a question and answer and be able to ask questions about what's going on. But now that we have less than about 7 minutes left, there's no more time for that because there was another meeting scheduled exactly 1 hour after this.
There is another meeting, and not
So-
all town meetings are question and answers. Unfortunately, we've done this where we've had different topics we have talked about, and I do apologize. We will look at that in the future. Okay. Any more questions?
I have a question. Ron had lot 1044. I just hear through the rumor mill, which I like to not hear, something about water meters.
I'm sorry, about
I
what?
asked water meters being set up in our individual lots. Is there a discussion going on about that? Because I'm hearing people who are buying here have went down to the business office and have been told something about the possibility of water meters being put in our each individual lots.
No, that is not up for discussion, and
Good.
we have not been.
Well, that gets rid of the rumor. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Michelle Stoltz, lot 444. I see Tamara and Jennifer both sitting together up front. I would like to ask them both to just stand up for a minute if I could to ask my question. Could I ask them both to stand up and face the audience so I could ask my question, please?
I will be happy to turn around for you. Jennifer will not. She is injured right now and she won't be getting
All right. Well, that's fine. That's fine. My question is in regards to front steps and bulletins. After the recall meeting, several people in the parking lot were told by you, Tamara, that the front steps blasts were not coming from Homeco. They were coming from the board. Yesterday at the Money Matters meeting, we were told that those blasts are not coming from the board. They're coming from Homeco. So now that we have both our board president and you, Tamara, in the room at the same time. Could we please get a definitive answer on who is responsible for putting out the blasts?
I'll start and I will actually clarify, because what was repeated back was not exactly what I said in the parking lot. And I know some of you who I spoke to are here, so you can attest to that. What I repeatedly said was that the management team, look, all you, the management team is not writing all of the e-blasts and sending them out on their own. They don't do that. They don't do that in any of our communities. It is not the management team. It is not HomeCo that sits down and decides by themselves what goes out. And so when I was talking with that group, I said that, then repeated back to me with something I did not say. And I said, that's not quite what I said. And we went back and forth several times. So I can't speak to every e-blast that goes out. I think there's collaboration, and there is in many of our communities. But what I can say, and I did say, and I think it was our last town hall when we were all sitting up here, I was asked by a gentleman who was sitting there the same question. And I answered and I said that the HomeCo, your on-site staff, is not writing all of the e-blasts on their own and sending them out. I said, if you want to talk about the messaging, this is recorded, it was in the meeting. So if you want to talk about the messaging, your board is here today. And I put my mic down and we continued on with the meeting. I don't believe there were any other questions after that. So I don't think you need to get up. Jennifer, if you would like to answer, please do.
Many of the e-blasts that go out are what I might consider emergency type e-blasts. Section 4 water shut off from such and such a time to such and such a time. The meeting schedule for the following week, this is now at the bottom of the Friday newsletter blast. Messages like that are going to be created and distributed by the management team because they know if there's a water shut off, they know what the meeting schedule is for the following week. If there is a message that had to do with the election results also came from the management team because the management team ran the election. So it is a collaborated effort. It is not always the management team. It is not always the board. It is a collaboration between the two. And you will see now in the Friday newsletter that often it is from the communications committee. So the communications committee is sending out information. So it's never just one entity distributing information to the community. It depends on the topic as to who will be disseminating the information.
Well, may I then respectfully ask that when those communications come out, they be signed by someone so we know whether it's coming from the board or from HomeCo, because I think people get very confused and they've asked several times for this. So I will respectfully ask once again that those communications be signed and identified who is actually authoring those communications. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. And I just want to make one clarifying point. And Jennifer, would you agree though that when management sends out communications, it's not, the board is in the loop?
The board is in the loop.
So I know kind of what I said initially sounded slightly different than what Jennifer said. So I want to make sure we're coming together. So yes, there are some situations where management's going to write something basic information on their own, but the board is always going to be in the loop.
Michael Gardner, 1783. So I just want clarification. Who was it, management, or was it the board who was putting at the bottom of the blast, vote no on the recall? Which I believe is illegal.
Okay, so the question was who was putting vote no within the blast? There's more than one blasts that were going out. It was a a collaborative effort, I guess we would say. I can only speak, sir, I'm still talking, and I would respect you, and I ask that you respect me, and you will get your chance, okay? Thank you, I appreciate that. So the e-blasts are a collaborative effort. I don't like to speak to things that I don't know directly, and I'm not going to be the only one holding the microphone. There are multiple emails I know that went out. It was a collaborative effort. Everyone involved knew what was going on. That would be the board, management, and anyone else who might be involved with that. And I want to ask, because now you're asking me to speak on behalf of the board, not just myself. I'd like to know if the board has anything that they would like to add to this conversation. Okay, sir, the floor is yours.
So both of the board and HomeCo was aware that that was being put in on every one of those blasts.
So the question was HomeCo and the board aware of the e-blast and all of the language? And the answer is, did I not phrase that correctly?
That it was said on the bottom of every blast,
Yeah.
Vote no on the recall.
Right. So to rephrase your question, so did HomeCo and the board know all of the language that were in the e-blast going out? And the answer is yes.
I have a question.
Okay, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to cut it short. It's 11:30, not
Oh,
short.
no, I have a question here, Darlene.
So, thank you all for
Darlene,
being here.
This is Jerry.
And thank you all for being here, and we will see you all next month. Thank you.
Darlene, I would like to ask a question about those blasts that go out